Hello, YouTube fam. We're back here today playing a deck called Of Birds and Beasts, which is Taunos version 2.0, this time built by Pando. I put out the challenge, can we have another Taunos deck that maybe leans slightly more towards the competitive side? This is what we got in return, so we will see how impressive it is. Before I go into the deck tech, I do want to say this video is the last video of 2022 for this channel. I am going to be going on holiday to see my folks, and so I'm not going to have my recording equipment. I'm recording this on Friday the 16th, so right before the Saturday. This will come out tomorrow. I'll be on holiday with my folks. So I won't have my recording equipment. I won't have my gaming computer that I record on. I won't have this microphone that you're hearing me through right now, but I will have a small laptop. And so in the meantime, I know you guys aren't going to get videos. You should get videos around the first week of January. So January 2nd, 3rd, 4th, somewhere in that time frame. I'm looking to get videos back rolling. Should be back from holiday by then. But in the meantime, I wanted to do a few things or announce a few things that hopefully I can change about the channel to make it more entertaining to watch and to potentially grow the channel audience a little bit in order mostly to get more people to submit decks, so I can have a more variety of deck builders on the channel. I know a lot of you have submitted decks. People like Sunday, people like Jaw, people like M Balrog have submitted more decks than others. But I appreciate every one of you sending decks. I just want to see even greater diversity in people sending decks, and I sort of want to get to a point where I can pick and choose which decks to play instead of someone puts a deck in the iPlayer deck Google form in the YouTube description below. By the way, you can still submit those. I will still play them in January, but I want to get to a place where I get a whole bunch of decks and I'm picking and choosing the types of decks. So if I'm feeling like playing a control deck on one day, I'm not limited to what people have submitted. I will still be limited to that, I guess, but hopefully there'll be more options is the idea there. So here's some ways I'm going to try to improve the channel, improve the reach. So I'll just sort of lay them out. I'm going to improve the thumbnail design. So currently, for this video, there'll probably be the thumbnail will be the card art from Taunos. There'll be some sort of catchy little phrase on it. So maybe Taunos 2.0, version 2, something of that nature. And then it'll say viewer submitted deck on the bottom. And so if you know who Taunos is, if you've seen the art before, the art means something to you. But to a lot of people, the art might not make sense to them if it's a card, especially a new card from a new set. And it doesn't really feel especially unique to the channel. I want people to see the thumbnail and be like, oh yeah, that's a Rumply MTG thumbnail. So I'm going to try to come up with some design that's like catchy, kind of fun to look at, and that someone could say, oh, that's a Rumply MTG thumbnail. I know that he's hopefully going to play viewer decks, and so that way I don't have to have the viewer submitted deck tagline on the bottom, because I think the more text on the thumbnail, the more clutters up the thumbnail in general. Another thing I want to change is to change the way the video starts. So typically you see my intro that I made is a little 8 or 9 second intro where it has some background music. And it says, playing MTG Arena, I play your decks, Rumply MTG, with an orange background. I think I'm going to change that. I think I'm going to cut that intro entirely. And the plan is to do a very short overview of what the deck's going to be. So not even a deck tech, but something to the effect, if I were doing it on this video, the plan is, today we're playing Taunos Beasts and Brothers War Standard. Thank you for, I'm looking at the deck, Pando, for submitting this deck. Let's get into the videos. Let's get into the matches. Something to that effect is the plan. So that way you would get right into the video, and it leads to more people watching it for longer, I would believe. We'll try it out. We'll see if it works. And then I'll still do a traditional deck tech, but it'll be after the first match. So that way people kind of get to see the deck in action. I'll put a traditional deck tech after the first match. But I also put, the hope is to put channel chapters, video chapters as well. So that way, if you still like this way of doing it, where you see the deck tech first, you can skip to the deck tech via the chapters. Also, I want to change the editing. I'm pretty a novice editor. I'm still a pretty novice editor, but I've learned a lot editing for this channel so far. And so one of the big things I want to do is improve the transitions. It's like a fade to black and come back right now. I maybe want to add a sound effect to it or change it up a little bit. I'm not 100% sure I want to do the video transition, but it's kind of stale right now how it just goes from the end of a match to the beginning of a match with a fade to black, fade back in, and there's no sound effect or anything. So if you're just listening to it, if you happen to glance away or something, you're it's not immediately clear that a transition was made. So maybe some like sound effect to get there. I'm also going to think about adding royalty-free tracks. So like there's a royalty-free track in the intro. I'm thinking about putting a royalty-free track a low volume throughout the video in general. We'll see. I'm going to have to see how I like the vibe after I edit up a video. But that's kind of the plan for that. And then another big thing is I want to put all the videos into a playlist per season. So, all the Brothers War videos will be together. Then the next set when it comes out, all of those videos will be together. So that way it gives people a library of content to see. Like if you joined my video today when we're playing the Thanos video, you can go back and see the past content and sort of binge watch that if that's something you're interested in. And I want to also, along the same vein, add end cards to the videos at the end. So, at the end of this video, for instance, it said, oh, if you liked this Thanos deck, you can see version 1 at the end card on your screen right now. And then users could click that, see how it worked there. And one thing, I know it's a lot so far. There's a lot of changes. We'll see how much I get to. But another thing I'm potentially thinking about is changing the channel banner and the profile picture for the channel. It's pretty basic. It's like it's the same thing both times. It's like orange and green. So I think being on holiday and still having access to Photoshop and things of that nature would enable me to tweak that and put some time into that instead of putting the time I have for this hobby into making videos, which I really love doing. But I think having a little bit of time here to spruce up the channel is going to be helpful. So I know that was long-winded. Sorry if nobody listening to this cared about that, but that's sort of the vibe I'm going for. I'll probably put chapters on this video so you can skip this if you didn't care about this. But yes, okay. So now we'll actually get into the deck. This deck was sent into me, as I mentioned earlier, by Pando. So thank you, Pando, for submitting it. And it was in response to a challenge on the old Thanos video saying, hey, I saw this deck. We tried to play all beasts, but overall it just wasn't that competitive. And so Pando said, okay, I'll rise to the challenge. I'll make you a deck that hopefully is competitive enough. So that's exactly what we have here. We have Storm of the Festival to try to get Thanos in play along with another beast. Elspeth Resplendent gets in the trenches, Broker's Ascendancy, or any of our 2-drops onto the battlefield, which is pretty nice. We have birds and beasts, so you'll see the names of birds and beasts. Not only do we have Obstinate Baloth and Uvenwald Oddity, we also have Ledger Shredder, which is pretty nice. We have another bird, Falcosparo Pact Weaver. Unfortunately for Falcosparo Pact Weaver, it's a legendary creature, so when you copy it, that copy is still going to be legendary, so we're not going to get total value out of Falcosparo, since once the priority is passed, we'll just be sacrificing the second copy, but it's still a cool card. I still like the card in general, and it fits the theme, so we're rolling with it in of birds and beasts. So hopefully I don't mention it now in the deck, and then we also just do it in the game, mess up in the game, and play it that way. But yeah, that's the deck. We have some 2-drops to get there, and we have some overall more powerful in this deck. Lots of cool lands. I think the lands to spell ratio is 25 lands, which is what I like to see in the deck. That goes up to 5-6 mana. Having slightly more lands than 24, I think, is going to make it a lot easier to cast those spells. So we'll basically see how it does on the ladder. So yeah, let's get into it. Thank you, Pando, for submitting the deck. Alrighty, let's get into it. Okay, we're going second in this hand. It's not perfect, but it's got a lot of power, so we'll roll with it. Get this headquarters down. And the Shredder down. Opponent's on Anaya, so they probably don't have a great way to counter the Shredder, so they would have had to have killed it if they wanted. Get super amount of value next turn. So we'll get this Broker's Ascendancy down. We're not going to be able to trigger the Ledger Shredder, but getting a Broker's Ascendancy down is not bad. Oh, actually, just kidding. I forgot there's a tap land. Well, we drew a 2-drop then, I guess. Oops, my bad. I thought that was an untapped land. I don't know why I thought that, because it was a tri-land, but that's all right. Okay, they're going to get the Battlefield Forge back, do a little ramping themselves. Do a little depopulating. And I guess we'll get down this Broker's Ascendancy. Now we're just hoping to hit lands. If we hit lands, we're going to be able to cast spells for a while. Opponent doesn't have counter spells at least, which is nice. What I am worried about is some sort of Portal to Phyrexia, big finish. One's got a lot of ramp, damn. Alright, let's draw an untapped land. There we go. We'll take that. Get in there with the oddity. And we'll get a +1/+1 on it. Now it's a 5/5. They can discard this land and get some more value. They can discard 2 lands and get a little. Oh, geez, they're gonna ramp it up. Well, they don't discard the plains though, so they don't want it to become tapped. Wandering Emperor, sure. Fable, okay. Since that has vigilance, it's a little bit harder to attack down the Wandering Emperor with it. But at least this way we'll get them to trade off this restoration. They are going to get a 1/1, but that's the price of doing business. They're going to let it die. Sure. Next turn, we're hoping to draw a land and storming the festival into something good. 2 good things. Opponent's got a lot of value with these sagas. I mean, just absolutely absurd value with these sagas. They got rid of this Raffine's Informant, so they're just kind of a Naya good stuff deck. Sure. Alright, let's draw an untapped land. And maybe hit an Elspeth for Splendid so we can get lifelink on this oddity. Oh my goodness. Not looking good right now. Do draw an untapped land at least, though. Let's see what the Storm Festival gets us. And yeah, we did get a Resplendent and a Baloth. Gain some life. So this is going to be a 5/5. So we're probably going to lose this Elspeth anyway, so I think we're going to minus it. And get the Loam Speaker, just something to put a +1/+1 counter on. Instead of 4/5, we'll still block that though. Just block like this. Have to block as profitably as possible, I think.
Retreat isn't a reason to lose hope.
The 4th restoration, okay. Opponents are going off. We're going to make a pretty big board, though. And I like this, because this way we can connive away this Loam Speaker. It's not really that relevant of a card right now. Gain some life. And yeah, we're not going to have too profitable of attacks, so we'll just pass and get +1 counters and everything. And next time we have a Ledger Shredder that can attack the Wandering Emperor in the air, at least. It's not a terrible position, but this Reflection is going to do some work on us. Get rid of a Plains, another Informant. Must have something else not great in their hand. Another Plains, sure. See if they Reflection copy something.
Remember your training.
Nothing has flying over here, which is nice. Would we rather In the Trenches or Tawnos? I think we'd rather Taunos, but I think we're going to try to kill this Wandering Emperor first. See if they have some sort of removal. They don't. Okay, that's big.
Try not to miss me.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Definitely a ways off from the Storm the Festival. I think we do need to cast this Taunos and just pass. Our opponent had a removal spell. Have to imagine it would have used it on the Shredder. But we're just growing a big board. I'm going to copy their Architect. Oh, they have so much value going on over there. Good taxes. Okay. When we cast an artifact, instant, or sorcery spell, it's going to get countered. Yeah. Doesn't have enchantments, at least. I think we're going to plan to in the trenches this Jin Kataxis eventually. Hopefully we can draw a beast or something, though. And we're just going to block here with a 6/6. Not a great draw there. Alright, casting in the trenches. And I'm going to get busy with this Ledger Shredder. And now we're hoping to dodge an artifact, instant, or sorcery spell from our opponent's Jin Gitaxis. See if they have one. Or we can in the trenches that Jin Gitaxis. That's a sorcery spell. It's going to get copied. They're going to be able to go after our Ledger Shredder. Pretty good. Ledger Shredder down. We have a huge board, though.
This is what you get for hurting my people.
Yeah, we're going to block with a Taunos, I think. Yeah, we're going to exile this Jin Gitaxis. Can't be having any of that. And we'll just pass and grow the board again. Now we're at a point where if we draw lands, it's not terrible since it can get us to the second Storm of the Festival. Opponent could be copying Rafine's Informant to cycle their deck more, but they are deciding that getting a 1/1 every turn is more valuable. Hard to say if that's correct. Because they could be just getting tons of juicier things in the graveyard for this repair and recharge.
I have got new moves to teach you.
Interesting that you'd put the first strike counter there. Consider you can get a permanent +1/+1 on one of these other creatures. Spar's headquarters, okay. Definitely going to play that so we can have a chance to get to this storm still and pass and just make a board go up again. They have a depopulate. I kind of would struggle to imagine they would use it. Considering how wide their board is and how much they're investing in just going wide with their board. A second reflection would be pretty bad for us. Okay, another Fiend's Informant. Let's see if they bin a Plains or what they're binning. Oh my goodness. A Toxrill? They don't even have black mana, but they do have an Invoke Justice for it. Okay. Well, now at the beginning of each end step, our stuff's going to get -1/-1, which is kind of tough. That's a pretty good Tox roll for them. Eventually, they're going to definitely be able to attack through our stuff, which is kind of scary. Oddity. Yes, we will take an oddity. As we can copy it. Kind of stonewalled by our opponent's entire board, though. And we're slow. Our creatures are slowly getting smaller. And theirs are getting bigger. Which is not good. It's not good, certainly. Again, we're seeing the same themes come up from the last time we played this deck, where we don't have the exact power to contend with really powerful late games that we're seeing out of our opponent here. We don't have necessarily the amount of power to contend. All right, we have Beseiju, which we are going to play to cast this Storm the Festival. Hope did something good. Falco Spara. Not terrible. It's not great. Okay, so we can get that Toxrill off the battlefield next turn, which will be nice. With the In the Trenches. Falco Spara. It's going to be pretty good. We're going to be able to cast a lot of spells. Opponent's going to want some removal. And we're hoping this In the Trenches for this Toxrill is going to be good enough. What might consider attacking now, though? Oh, they're going to minus on the Loam Speaker. Okay, not bad. Should still have enough to exile and or give our creatures the bonus and exile the Toxrill. Okay, now our board is big again. I don't think we want to attack with this Falco Spara yet. I think we want to get more value here. Then if they could just play another Wandering Emperor. They've only played one. They just re-bought it from the graveyard, so they definitely could have more in hand. Alright, getting rid of the Toxrill was solid. We have a Storm the Festival coming up next turn. Things are not looking bad, certainly. Could be worse. Giving all our stuff trample is going to be big next turn.
We've got the edge in this fight.
Didn't even attack to get the 1/1. So if we play the Storm the Festival, we can get the Broker's Ascendancy, which I think it's fine. Broker's Ascendancy and a Johnny, okay. Another In the Trenches isn't bad. And we'll remove a counter. Move a Slime Clowner. Yeah, that's hilarious. Make your creatures even bigger. And we'll make Falco Spara bigger. And next turn is the turn I think we're going to plan for a big attack. We can In the Trenches something, which will be nice. And this Uvenwald Oddity will give our stuff Trample and Haste. Only problem is they have an instant speed removal spell for this Uvenwald Oddity. We get to double up Obstinate Bailoff next turn, though, which is pretty nice. It's possible we should have attacked with a Bailoff that turn. Probably. Opponent's going everything at a Johnny, which to me signals they have a Wrath. So we want to keep the Falco Spara out of combat and just block the best creatures. Definitely want this Falco Spara to stay after combat. Opponents were pretty close to lethal there if they had just attacked us. Question is, do they have 2 depopulates? think we'll attack the Wandering Emperor. And we'll play this Storm the Festival. Get another In the Trenches and another Baloth. Just making our creatures huge. And we'll keep this Otawara in hand. Another Wandering Emperor. Okay, we kind of thought that was going to happen. That's why we didn't just go face. Now, any creature we play is huge. It's just absolutely massive. Okay. Want to make so a 1/2/2 with a -1. Can attack, see if they have another Wandering Emperor. And we'll just play a Thanos. Just as a 7/9. Interesting game here so far, though. I imagine our opponent has some things in their deck that can get him out of this still. Another... Okay. Another Wandering Emperor coming back. They're going to be able to exile a lot. That's for sure. Okay, we're going to go at this Wandering Emperor. I'm going to cast this Obstinate Baloth. Gain some life, make 2 beasts, make them have another Wrath. Which is certainly possible that they will have, but they will need it. We still have 2 In the Trenches that we can get going. If our opponent had been playing fair well, we would be out of this game a long time ago, but they're not playing fair well. Playing another Invoke Justice. Okay. Looks like they're going to be able to get creatures back or planeswalkers back for days. So yeah, I think this time we're going to attack our opponent straight up. And we're going to In the Trenches this Wandering Emperor. And pass the turn. Keep up this Otawara. 2 lethal threats. See what our opponent has. Another Populate. Yep. Thing for our opponent now is that every threat we play is going to be lethal. So our opponent just has to kill literally everything. It has to be with depopulates or something. Okay, they're going to get the Goblin Shaman. If they pass the turn, I think we're going to Otawara the token. See if they can block it, and they cannot. GG's, we got there, folks. We got there. What a game. I felt reasonable about attacking. If they have a Wandering Emperor, we can have another Loam Speaker. They'd used, I think, 2 Wandering Emperors at that point. We can check their yard. 1. Was it really just the 1? 2. Okay, 2. Yeah, they had used... Could we have it in the trenches? Yeah, so they used 2 Wandering Emperors at that point. Definitely possible they have more, but my guess they don't even have 4 in the deck. I would be kind of shocked with everything else they're playing that they would have 4 Wandering Emperors. So I feel pretty confident attacking. And then once they didn't have the stick for the Otawara, we felt really confident. So GG's, that was a heck of a match. Shout out to Band or Bonde for a great match. And GG's, on to the next one. Alrighty, we're going first, and not a bad hand, so we'll keep Spar's Headquarters into Blast Zone, into some sort of 3-drop enchantment that buffs our creatures. Ooh, that was good. We'll take that. Get this Loam Speaker down. Their opponent have a Fading Hope for it? They might. They're thinking about it. Mono Blue is known for their Fading Hopes. Okay, not doing it. Ledger Shredder. Okay, interesting. Yeah, we're just going to get a Baloth down. Gain some life and pass the turn. It's going to be unlikely or maybe impossible even, that our opponents can be able to shred twice. So we should get an attack with Obstinate Baloth this turn at least. Then from then on, we can hopefully get a Broker's Ascendancy down or something to pump it up. Let's see what they have, though. See if it is mono blue. Shredder and mono blue is interesting. Okay, opponent decides they're not going to block, so they might as well get in there. I like that decision from our opponent. And they're going to connive while they're at it. Sure. See what their other spell they have is. They kept that on top, it looked like, so could be a land. Do they have something else with which to connive? Not at instant speed, it doesn't look like. Another land, okay. I think we want to catch another Baloth, so we're gonna only attack with this Baloth. Get this one down. See if they have a Make Disappear or something for it. Stroke, okay. Hopefully we can get a In the Trenches or Broker's Ascendancy down next turn. Maybe both. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, maybe both down next turn. See what our opponent has. They have untapped land and Haughty Djinn. They can definitely dictate what we are able to play. Fading Hope. Okay. And Impulse. Okay. Let's see what we draw here. You've been a slip out the back. Probably a good call. They're reading we don't really have removal spells. It's a good read. Forest, okay. Yeah, I think we're just gonna... We can't actually cast both of these. Too much green mana. Next turn we could cast Baloth and In the Trenches though, so that means I think we want to play Broker's Ascendancy this turn. Yeah, we should have attacked with a 3/3 land actually. Instead. My bad, my bad. And we would have gotten a counter on a land too. My bad, guys, my bad. Opponent has to have another land here after the impulsing and whatnot they were doing. They got a full grip. We do keep a Boseiju, I guess, up this way, which we would not have otherwise. Opponent's getting in. Yeah, getting down this In the Trenches. And this Baloth. They'll get to connive, but that's fine. Should be hopefully the only time we connive them. I might ditch a land here anyway. Ditch a Lore Master, sure. Opponent has used one Fading Hope. It's probably their best card against us right now, just to bounce some stuff with counters. Giving the mono blue opponent a turn with Haughty Djinn is not ideal, but we can't do anything for it, so we're gonna let them do. Okay. It's not a card you see every day, but we're gonna cast this for X equals 5. And hope to kill our opponent in a few turns. That's our plan. See if it's good enough. Thirst for Discovery, okay. One is trying to dump cards in the graveyard. They're going to need to settle be 7, 10. They'll connive, get it to 11. Discard 2 cards. It might be lethal here. I do think our opponent has lethal here. Nice job. Nice, good job from opponent to find lethal. Honestly, well played. Yeah, the Haudijin is tough to beat. You know, it's the fun police of the format, as I like to say. And yeah, they're policing it over there. Gotta respect it. Opponent just has to attack, so we're gonna concede. We're close though. They didn't have they didn't invoke the win. Maybe it would have been different, but GG's. We'll let them get the full kill though. Let them feel better about seeing their creatures come get us. There we go. Down to -1. And GG's. We're on to the next one. Okay, we're going first, and we need a little bit of land help, but this hand isn't bad. Getting headquarters down and pass in the turn. And opponent's on Deserted Beach. That's not a bad draw. Get this Loam Speaker down. See what opponent has next turn. We can maybe get an Uvenwald Oddity down and start attacking. Surge Engine. Well, something we could potentially kill with Beseiju. I think we'd rather just Oddity and get through that Surge Engine. Opponent could be on some sort of Tezzeret deck. Looks like they're on some sort of Urza deck. We would happily kill Urza here if they double blocked. No blocks. I think we just want to keep putting the pressure on our opponent. Passing turn. Next turn we'll get this Ledger Shredder into In the Trenches down. Opponent's going to need to come up with some removal spells. I have a Thran Spider, which has reach. And just Steel Seraph, okay. I mean, we'll double block the Urza all day. Okay, they decide they don't want that. Yeah, Shredder and In the Trenches as it is. Don't need the second Loam Speaker. We're only trading this with a Thran Spider. It's not great. Yeah, it's honestly not great. We'll have to pass. Opponent's building actually a pretty good board against us. Have a Baloth next turn potential, or an Awaken the Woods. Okay, they're getting with their unblocked Lifelinker. Sure. Ooh, Ascendancy is good. We're playing that. I'm going to move this counter from the Shredder to play it. And we're going to pass, just getting the counter on the Beseiju. This Surge Engine is going to start clapping us, though. We can In the Trenches this Surge Engine next turn. Opponent's searching around for what they want to kill. Teferi, sure. Yeah, I don't think we can really attack yet. Next turn is potentially where we could attack, though. Another in the trenches. Yep, gonna draw a card. Roll their 3/3 or 4/4. Get a Sten going on enchantment. Okay, see if they what enchantments they potentially have in their deck. Also, they have the Weatherstone or whatever this thing that protects with this. Weakstone. The Mightstone and Weakstone. Probably that card. Get a Brushland going. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 6 mana to cast non-artifact spells, though. So I think that means we're just going to get this Awaken the Woods going. See if our opponent has a counter. If they don't have a counter, we're going to start going wide. And now is reach. Yeah, I think we want to attack the Teferi now. Obviously, if they have a Wandering Emperor or something, it's not going to look good. Okay. Gonna kill the Thran Spider and do some damage to the Teferi.
You're a feisty dance partner.
They're exiling Sten. Does that mean they're gonna Wrath this turn? Okay, it does mean they're gonna Wrath this turn, but keeps a bunch of us stuff alive. Oh, it was for the backside. They have black mana. Okay, they did have enough. Okay. Alrighty, sorry, I did not see that. Okay. That makes more sense. That makes more sense. Yeah, it's not looking good for us now. So we could draw 4 cards now. We could play in the trenches or Obstinate Bill. I think we're just going to draw 4 cards right now. It's not looking good for us right now, though. Doesn't mean it can't get better. Hard Wrath was kind of a blowout for us. And one with the Multiverse. See what they can play from their hand without paying mana cost. Okay, well, our opponent is doing things. Things we're not really happy to be seeing. And we are almost dead. We can cast some Baloth at least. Gain some life. Get this Broker's Ascendancy down and make it bigger. We can still force a chump block with this 6/6 though. Which is unfortunate. Celestis, okay. And we have to block the 7/7. It's not looking good. We're basically dead. Opponent is playing speed magic over here, though. Oh, they have a Liliana. Oh, my goodness. That was a very, very interesting draw and deck from our opponent. The Path of Peril was good enough, though. And GG's. We'll let them go. I mean, come on. They're having so much fun over there, and they're playing fast. We'll let them kill us. GG's. Alrighty, well. Good beats. Nice, cool deck from our opponent. Interesting concoction. But yeah, I kind of like it. Cool deck. Playing a lot of good cards over there. Yeah, not bad. GG's. Okay, we're going first in. It's not a bad hand. We'll keep. See if our opponent keeps as well. They're on 7, it looks like maybe. Oh, they haven't made their decision yet. We're hoping to draw a bunch of lands so we can just get this Azusa's Many Jerseys going. We'll see, though. Alright. Get this Deserted Beach and go. See what our opponent leads on. Mountain. Clean Kamano faces Kakazan. Okay. Land there was good. We'll get this Journeys down, and we'll hit this Besage You into play. Gain 3 lives next turn, which will be solid. And then it turns into a 3/3 blocker. So not bad on turn 2 against mono red. Next turn we'll get an Oddity down, which is pretty nice. And if we can go Oddity into Elspeth, that'll be very, very nice. Ooh, Baloth is better. We'll just do that. Gain our life while we can. There's Calling the Professional in this format, which could negate the life gain, so. And we'd much rather have them kill this Obstinate Baloth than something else. And we'll block this Stormseeker they attack with it for sure, though. Yep. Did not draw the land, unfortunately. I think that means we're just going to go with the Oddity and get in there. Not going to have any way to take advantage of the mana from the likeness of the Seeker, but that's okay. See what our opponent has here. Mono red coming in. They Chandra. Sure. Means we're probably free to block these etchings.
Like your hors d'oeuvres extra crispy.
And we would, man, if we could draw untapped land, that would be big game.
You're lucky this is a warning shot.
Play with fire, sure. Could have pointed that at our likeness, but I think we would have still blocked anyway. Llanowar Loam Speaker. So we do potentially want to get this Llanowar Loam Speaker down so we can guarantee an Elspeth Resplendent next turn. Could also just get the Ascendancy down. Yeah, I think we're gonna just get the Ascendancy down. Oh, it's gonna cost. Yeah, that's gonna cost a lot. Maybe we won't do that. And we'll just attack Chandra with the Oddity. See if they double block. It's definitely possible they do. Keep the Chandra alive. Okay, looks like they will. Certainly lessens their damage output potential. Okay, this goes +1 on us just to make some more mana. That means they're... What do they have at 4 mana that they really are aching to cast? Let's see. Shivan Devastator, sure. Alright, let's get an untapped land for this Elspeth, and we can get there. That is big. Yeah, we can save a life point doing this. We'll do it like this.
If a fight's coming, this is your fight.
Yep, we'll go lifelink. Attack the Chandra, gain our life. Permanent lifelink counter, so even if they kill our Chandra this turn, we still have the permanent lifelink, which is nice. We have another Elspeth next turn, which can give this vigilance. So if they do go for our Elspeth, we'll have effectively gain a bunch of life. They don't go for our Elspeth, okay. And a Goro, sure. Okay, kill our Elspeth that way.
Once I've rested, I'll be back.
Yeah, we're gonna give this vigilance.
I like your way. Let's do this together.
And attack the Chandra. If they block it, we get to untap 3 lands and play this Broker's Ascendancy, which is pretty nice. I'll get our Chandra or our Elspeth just a little more even out of removal spell range. It could be hard for our opponent to kill a 6/6 lifelinker. They'd have to devote 2 lightning strikes to it, and if they do that, we can still block and be pretty well ahead. We're looking solid now. Next turn, we can give this first strike. Should be pretty nice. Thundering Raiju, sure.
This is a warning shot.
Opponent having to attack through this is tough. It's all coming at me, but we get a free block on the Raiju. So it's not doing a whole bunch of damage. Yeah, we're giving this first strike, certainly. And yeah, our opponent realizes we're just gaining too much life every turn. GG's. Didn't really have a lot to do with Thanos that round, that game, but, you know, had something to do with the Elspeth and the Azusa's many tourneys, so we'll take it. Alright, GG's. Let's head to the wrap-up. And we're back with Of Birds and Beasts, and the deck performed well. Well, won maybe 50% of our games, but, it was viable, I think, leaning into the Bant mid-range. Half of the deck was a lot better. The Falco Spar, I was a little bit worried we'd have it in spots where we'd have the Thanos and it'd be copying. It would be like weird, but it was actually pretty good. And let us cast a bunch of spells off the top of our deck. And when you're just taking a Broker's Ascendancy token off to do that, that's pretty good value. Pretty happy to do that. We played a Johnny yesterday, and again, I thought it was underwhelming in this deck. But that's okay. But overall, I think this was a more competitive version of Thanos the Toymaker. Being able to copy beasts and stuff were nice. But I think just building the deck with more powerful cards in the supporting role is probably the most viable way, to make Thanos the Toymaker viable. So, yeah. It's basically the lowdown of the deck. Thank you again for Pando for submitting this deck, and I know I won't talk to you all again until January, but if you want to see more content like this, please drop a subscription down below, and it'll help the algorithm serve you the video when it comes back and make it more visible to you when the videos come back in January. So thank you all for watching, and I can't wait to see you then. Until next time, wherever you are, whenever you are, have a magical day.